The BowStopper, an educational new device for string musicians. The BowStopper was invented by a musical instructor to make a better music learning experience for his students. It is designed to help novice and advanced string players develop and improve their bowing technique. As you see here, it enables musical instructors to teach proper bow distribution without the need for tape, rubber bands, or other devices that damage bows. The BowStopper enhances concentration and generates motivation. Musicians and educators firmly believe that every beginner string player should use the BowStopper. The BowStopper clamps onto the bow without additional weight on the bow hair and without affecting the up or down stroke of the bow. It restricts movement beyond a certain point, guiding students to excellent bow distribution. This unique string accessory is flexible and allows students to bow more accurately in half of the usual learning time. Here's how it works. Place the BowStopper at the center of the bow and play the upper or lower part of the bow. Place the BowStopper closer toward the tip to help develop tremolo articulation. Place the BowStopper closer toward the frog to develop a good staccato articulation. Center two BowStoppers and play between each for a beautiful legato phrase. The BowStopper is the simplest and most effective educational bowing tool. Rubber bands affect the sound of bowed instruments, and tape leaves a sticky residue and is not adjustable. Most students also lack the concentration to play within the margins of the tape. But the BowStopper physically restricts the bow to a particular area, freeing students to learn by feel rather than sight. This method means that students will learn precise bow distribution early on during practice. The quickly adjustable BowStopper is simple, easy to use, and comes in 10 kid-friendly colors.
1, 2, 3, 4.
What I like about the BowStopper is that it helps me make sure that I stay between certain places.
I like the BowStopper because it helps me control my bowing.
What the BowStopper does is helps the students to learn about bow control, not just in placement but also in speed. Because by setting up certain barriers on your bow, it's allowing you to control where and how much, where you use your bow, how much bow to use. The idea is obviously to not touch the BowStoppers, and you can do the same thing here. Yeah, excellent, excellent.
It got the job done in terms of forcing me to stay in whichever part of the bow was necessary.
Depending on what you're working on, you can reposition the BowStoppers to anywhere you need. Hold the bow on one end, slide it down.
What I liked about the BowStopper was it was a different wing. It was something really new to me because usually I would use the whole bow, but this time I sort of have a range to do it.
I like the BowStopper because it's giving me more focus and more technique than without it.
Obviously, having a teacher there to help you and show you exactly how to use it does help. But then once you send a student home on their own, they've got a guide. So once the teacher sets up these boundaries, gives them the product to to help them once they go home, then it makes learning that much easier and that much faster, and they'll actually have a little bit more fun with it because they challenge themselves. It's actually the goal of most teachers to be able to teach you how to teach yourself, and this is a great tool for that because you can use these on your own at home without the supervision of your teacher. It's actually very good. You notice every once in a while you'd run into it. So that's something that you might want to think about it the next time you practice. As you get a little bit more advanced is we're going to change where you are. What we're going to do now is move this here, and you're going to play from here to the end. I'm going to try that. That was a little harder. Try it.
It helped me a little bit because it sounded better.
Especially for younger students, like I think this would have been helpful when I was younger.
It works very well, specifically for younger students, but I think even advanced students can use this to their advantage because, like I said to the other students, there are colleagues of mine that, and myself included, that still work on a bow technique. You know, learning about your bow is not it's not a finite process. It makes you think, and that's the most important thing. It really makes you think about what you're doing with your bow at any given moment, because very often our bow just kind of flies willy-nilly all over the place. 1, 2, 3, 4. D, E, F, G. Repeat that note and go back down. A lot of students, particularly younger students, will use all of their bow in the very beginning, and by the third and fourth beat, they're already beyond the point where they want to go. And so it allows them to be more disciplined. So when you're using your bow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Stop, and you're right back where you started. So by having that kind of timing, it really helps your bow control. And stop, good. Sound production is all in the bow, and that's why learning to use it and learning about bow speed and bow division is so incredibly important, and that's what these things are going to help you to accomplish. So what this is going to help you do is to gauge the speed from one part of the bow to the next. It's an excellent tool. Well, you've got all kinds of stuff on your violin. You got tape, you got tape there, you got tape here. So we've got tape for the direction that the bow goes in, but what you're using these for is for the speed of your bow.
I like bow stoppers better than tape because tape, you can just go right past it and it doesn't stop you.
The advantage to this is it's something that you can feel, because very often when you play and you have that tape, you're going to go right by it and not think about it. But here, when you feel that resistance, you realize that you've gone too far and you're going to try to avoid it.
I like the bow stoppers better than the tape, unless the tape would be for like where should I start, but the bow stoppers to like stop me at a certain point from going too far to the frog or too out to the tip.
The tape is like really sticky, but now you have all right here and all right there. You don't notice them as much as the bow stopper. It's very obvious. I'd recommend a bow stopper to a friend because it would sort of prevent them from messing up a song. I would tell my friends that this would make their practice time more efficient.
I would definitely recommend this product to my colleagues that are teachers. I believe it's an essential tool for beginning violinists.
We invite you to try the BowStopper for yourself. Simply call us at 973-386-1141 or place an order online at BowStopper.com. The BowStopper was invented by a music teacher for music teachers to help motivate and instruct young string players of tomorrow.